And
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you, it broke me.
And it shook you up a bit. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It destroyed my confidence. It changed my.
Okay.
I don't know. It broke me. But
The consonants
there
went.
there were persons. That's why I always say I always anchor on God, because there were persons. I must say this. They ensured that they said, "Listen, if what is for you,
It's for you.
Well,
no
feel I
man,
can't and feel. That them
no man
say.
can stop you.
That's true.
So
Yes.
do what you have to do." And I finished. Like
Mm-hmm.
God made me finish. Many
Mm-hmm.
things happened, and I finished. And when the time come for to be called to the bar, I realized that you have to put in an application for good character. And
Oh.
I had to go. I went to Bert Samuels, and he says, "Well, go research it and come back to me." And I started to research what good character is, because, mind you, on the website it says you can't have a conviction.
Conviction. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
Just
went and
right here.
I looked about my expungement, all of that, but still, when you read the act,
There's no
the
going
legal
around it.
profession act says you have to declare it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say you can't be a lawyer. It says you must declare it.
Okay.
So I went ahead, declared it. Start to say, but what did I do? And then everything I told you, I was helping persons get their GED. I came back. I was in the communities. I was doing work with the UN, with Sister in Theatre collectives, and everything. I was always helping people.
Exactly.
My life,
Volunteerism.
even now, like I don't say no if I can do it. Because I just feel like God is gonna say, but why would you do that after all that I do for you? That's the
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And it came together. All the persons that I told you, even persons that I met in prison, I would have came to Jamaica, helped persons connected to them and didn't even know they were connected. And the overwhelming love, and the persons who were ready to speak for me and to fight to ensure that I was called to the bar. I didn't do it alone. And it was God, and it was the humility that I never lose or never leave. And I became an attorney, and since then, everything I do is in service of persons. A lot of the work I do is for youth, young people who find themselves in trouble with the law, who a lot of them didn't do what they're saying they did. I represent persons who they say are guilty, but on appeal, the convictions are overturned because it wasn't so. So I have a different perspective of the law, and I will continue to work to ensure that I help people. But in terms of struggle, it was not easy.
Your story cannot. Your story just depicts that it was not
Yeah,
easy.
but what the one thing I would have to say, because I know I was talking for a long time, but the one thing I have to say is never give up.
Exactly.
And I'm saying it because there are persons who will listen to this. They might not be in the best of health, but they're alive. Their finances are bad, but they're alive. They're being molested. They're being abused, but they're alive.
They're alive.
So I'm simply saying anchor on God, because your time, it comes, but you have to be alive for it.
Exactly.
And so I discovered a long time ago, and I always share this with people. I share this with my students. I share this with people who I don't know. I always say that life is time plus chance created. That's all life is.
Beautiful.
So I've always heard about being in the right place and at the right time. But if you are not creating the chances in the right place and the right time, then you miss it. So you don't have to bad mind people. You don't have to look at another person's life. Focus on your life. Always be kind. Always be helpful. Be humble. Have compassion, and that's the only formula to life. And I promise you this: no riches in the world can make you happy. You have to just love yourself, and you can love yourself as a poor person and be richer
as a rich person
than the rich, and be richer than the richest man who's have all the money and live in sorrow.
And it's so ironic how everything just fell into place for you. Like you will be moved to different facilities, and how you just started to garner what you needed to get to where you are currently. And I strongly believe that persons just have to realize that every part of the process happens for a particular reason.
It's
So just
every,
Trust the
everything.
process. Trust the
Yes.
process.
definitely.
But also, as you said, the process, but every single thing in your life
Happens for a reason.
is for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And if you once you are alive, all the experience and all the skills that you pick up. If it's even when you was living in your house and your mother says you have to wash the dishes.
I'm saying learn to wash the dishes.
You learn to wash the dishes, but then when little rain fall, your hand don't get the art right. It's called water touch you. And before you know it,
Oh.
somebody says, oh, your hands are very unique because it adapts to dryness and wetness. While your sisters and your brothers, little sun touch them and you hear now them have skin cancer. You don't suffer from that because you are immune. So one of the most important things as well is to ensure that you develop a mantra for yourself. My
Mm.
aunt who passed, when I experienced really bad times, which is even now as an attorney and all the
Mhm.
things I've achieved, it still happens. When people are displeased with things that I do. For instance, I challenged the government with the state of emergency,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
I actually won.
Mm.
And so the court said that the state of emergency was unconstitutional and detaining men for indefinite periods were unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people who were displeased that I did that, and publicly they said that I was a convict and I was defending criminals, and they convict lawyer, and they said horrible things in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt, before she died, she said every time I would experience that, like I go into the world and the world beat me up. This is
Mhm.
before, my overcoming the odds or defying the odds. She would say, sit, put me in the front of the mirror, and she says, all is well,
Mm.
all is well. And I would say it and I would start to feel
Better.
okay,
Better, yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel better. And I actually tattooed it
All is
on my
well.
chest.
Mhm.
All is
Mm.
well. I don't know if you can see, but
Yeah,
In
we can
prison
see.
or
it's
out of
so
prison?
no out here. When she died,
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
in honor of her, I put it across my chest, and every time I'm before the mirror, I see it. So if I don't say it this evening, I read it. It's
And it
it's there.
always
But
brings
that
back
that's
memories,
my
yeah.
strength.
Mhm.
All is well. So anything the world comes at to me, I know as long as I'm alive, all is well.
All is well.
And I want to say to Black people, especially my darker skinned brothers and sisters, you are beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and every single person, and I'm especially now speaking to the Jamaicans, whether you're from the poorest house, you can be a lawyer.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them tell you to go be no construction worker or go take
True.
up a little hard thing. Study, appeal to God, get into the spaces because people will believe in you, like they did with me. I was in a space where they said, if you're a convict, you have no prospect of being an attorney. They lied to
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
They
Mm-hmm.
lied.
Mhm.
I didn't change the law, They lied to
You
Exactly.
keep out
challenged it.
a certain class. So they will lie and say that because you're dark skinned,
To try
you're
and
not
deter you.
beautiful,
Yep.
or you're not bright, or because you're from a poor place, you can't be. But this is for everybody. And it's okay to be a lawyer and then not practice, but you are one. It's
Exactly.
okay to it's
Exactly.
okay to become the best version of yourself and said, I've done it. So that is what you work towards, and there's nothing that is not within your reach. And
That's true.
that's what I want to say to people.
I
And
Thank
seek
think
help as a community. Yes.
I think that piece that you just shared sums up everything that we've been, talking about, because we have persons that will always tell you that you're not good enough. But that's not
They
true.
lied.
And until you realize that you're more than what they say, then you can progress on in life. Because sometimes we ourselves, based on what person's opinions, we put them on ourselves, and we cannot move on. We cannot become successful. We cannot become great. So we have to believe in ourselves first, love ourselves, as you said, in order to progress and become your truest self and finding your purpose.
And
Right.
and just to piggyback on that also, at the end of the day, like things will fall into place the way that they're supposed to, as long as you give
Exactly.
the effort. Like once you give the
Yes.
effort, they will definitely fall into place. And the naysayers will be there. Like as Isaac stated before, like people always tend to find the negatives and try to use that to just down you and kind of like push you on the wayside. But at the end of the day, like you just have to keep on trying. And you giving that extra effort will eventually get you over the hump and get you to where you need to be. And and
Agreed.
that's it, definitely.
And I want to say thank you for sharing your time with us. We are up and coming in this business and trying to send the message across to Jamaica and to the world. And having somebody of your caliber on here is really great. Thank you for entrusting us with your story.
Definitely.
And we're looking forward to see you doing great things, and we're looking forward for us to be doing great things. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Is it evening or afternoon? Great
It's
afternoon.
afternoon.
Well,
Yes,
And
great afternoon.
thanks for having me. And you can call me anytime to share, to promote what you're doing is great. Believe me, the people need it, at a time like this, and keep reaching out to persons because we need that reinforcement. So I should thank you for giving me the opportunity on the platform.
humbly appreciate it.
All right.
All right.